How are you doing tonight, my lovely?
I am doing I'm so happy to be here right now. I really am been so excited to check back in with you and to really go deep. And the throat chakra, I was like, oh my gosh, hold on to your hats and glasses. This one's going to be wild.
Hold on to
Um,
everything you have.
that's right. Oh, it's so good to see you again.
Good to
I
see
want
you, my
to
lovely.
introduce Yvette, Delia Ivette, for those who don't know her. She is a master feng shui sorceress, and I am Jennifer Biondo, and I'm a smell sorceress. And we are having an essential talk about chakras. And we're going to be talking about our tools that we use to help balance our chakras, what a chakra is. We've already done the root chakra, first chakra. We've done the sacral
Sacral
chakra,
chakra. Mhm.
and that's number 2. Number 3, solar plexus,
Solar plexus, that's correct.
and we did heart, which so far has been my favorite.
That's correct. And this
And
is
now we are
the
doing
fifth
the throat
edition.
chakra.
The fifth edition of our beautiful, beautiful talks. I'm so grateful to have you, and um, it feels like a really long time. I know it's only been a 1 week, but gosh, it feels like much longer than that. Am I right?
Yeah, I don't. It's like I'm literally in the weirdest fucking time warp. I know everybody's in it. I know everybody's in it, but it's like it's so personal for everyone. This experience of being in quarantine, not being in quarantine, seeing other people living
Yes.
their lives like there's nothing going on, and just being here to experience all of it and evaluate where I am in it, and realize all this deep work I need to do. So much is coming up. It's so crazy. So much is coming up. I don't know if you're feeling it.
I'm
Are you
feeling
feeling
it as
it?
well, babe. I'm feeling it as well, and I don't think that you're alone. And um, we're sitting and we're watching, but more importantly, we're listening. And I feel that that's also a reason why we're feeling it so heavily because we're hearing our the changes happening, and our own humanity is it's going through a lot. There is suffering in the world now more than ever, and I feel that everyone else is also tuning into that emotion. I mean, we have to, because that's how we're going to be able to heal each other, by listening.
Yes.
We'll be able to speak everyone else's truth as well. So this is why we're here. We're here to talk about the throat chakra. This is all about the spoken word and speaking in your own truth, and it's the Vishuddha or Vishuddhi um, chakra.
Rashuti?
Vishuddhi,
Vishuti.
Vishuddhi.
Vishuti. That
Yes,
sounds so cute. I got my
it's really
Vishuti over
cute.
here.
I love it. It sounds really nice on your throat when you say it, right? Vishuddhi.
What
Yes,
did you say was speaking your truth?
it's about you speaking your truth. Basically, it's how we articulate what we need here on this realm. So it's very important that we all address this chakra. Now that we've worked on all of our elemental chakras, now we're moving more into the ethereal chakras. So this is what I like to call the gateway between the head and the heart.
Oh, the
And
gateway between the head and the heart.
yes, so it's like this little filter, and it reminds me of a tree trunk.
Oh, I love that. You know, I love the trees.
I do too. It
Oh,
reminds me
it's
of a
so
tree
good.
trunk. And it's the connection to our roots, to the fundamentals of who we are and what we're here to do. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Vishuddhi or Vishuddha means filter in Sanskrit, but I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken. I could be
We
wrong.
should ask Vanita. Maybe she can
We
help us
could
out with that
ask
one.
Anita. Maybe she can help us out with that. And I mean, it's great that we call it the filter, because it's really where we, like, the first place where we filter what we eat and what we drink.
Mm.
And I believe it's also a place where we filter our thoughts before we speak our
Oh,
truth.
this is so good. Thank you. Oh my gosh.
So I feel like it's
Yeah,
a perfect name. It's very appropriate for the throat chakra.
it's so great. I think that it's important also because you are so deep in a wealth of knowledge and the way that you teach what you've learned back to us, to me, is just so beautiful, and it makes me so happy to be able to do this with you, because I'm learning so much, because I'm such a visual, tactile, like I need all of the elements and I want to talk it out, and this is the way that I comprehend things. So I love that we're talking it out, and so I really want to go over this chart a little bit.
Yes.
For people who don't know what a chakra is. This is kind of, I always call it like the essential oils, or just basic chakra knowledge. I use it in all my essential oil classes. But the basic chakra knowledge for those of you who have never heard of a chakra, which is fine. It's no time like the present. Let's learn about our chakras.
Yay!
Chakra time, chakra time. Okay.
Chakra time.
All right. There's going to be I think there's going to be a lot of singing in this episode as we practice using our voices, because why not?
That's right. Great exercise for the throat chakra.
So this says, understanding your chakras. Chakras are the energy centers in your body which energy flows. These energy centers are directly linked to the mental, physical, spiritual attributes. By understanding what each chakra represents and what you can do to keep the energy flowing freely, you can achieve an optimal quality of life for yourself and those around you. Let me just marinate that for a second, because if everybody's doing this chakra work, I wouldn't have to be dealing with all your fucking energies that are coming through over here.
Yes.
So, suggested use: place 1 to 3 drops of appropriate chakra on the bottom of your feet, or inhale through the day. And that's how you would use the essential oils.
Yes.
No, dilute hot oils. So dilute hot oils. Hot oils like cassia or oregano, especially the very potent and pure doTERRA, which is amazing, will burn your fucking skin. No joke.
Yes.
Will burn your skin. So you do need to dilute it. Very important. The first chakra class I ever went to, they were passing around the cassia for the root chakra, and I held it to my face like this, and then all of a sudden the teacher's still talking. I know I told you the story at the root chakra, but it was like I literally burnt my fucking face, and like I felt nervous and embarrassed. This was the throat chakra coming in here. I felt nervous and embarrassed to like interrupt the teacher and be like, my face is on fire, could somebody give me some coconut oil? Right? But I did. I was like, excuse me, my face is on fire. And everybody looks at me, and I have like a fucking red Metallica mustache. A red burnt-in Metallica mustache, thanks to cassia. So that happened.
Nothing like a little oil to help you speak your truth, huh? Excuse me, miss.
I'm working on my root chakra over here. So yes, and now the throat chakra is the oil, or not the oil, but the energy center where your throat is, of communication, self-expression,
yes,
feelings, and you talked about emotion already, and I love that. It's energy and motion. The chakras are all about the energy, and we need to keep the energy moving instead of like staying stagnant or just kind of teeter-tottering. We want to keep it flowing.
Yes.
And then speaking your truth, as you also said. And so I use some frankincense whenever I hear the word truth, I'm like, oh, that's my angels and guides telling me to get out my frankincense and pop it on the roof of my mouth and smell it. Yes. It's located at the throat or neck, as we said, and the color is blue. You see Yvette and I representing blue. I love blue, and you look gorgeous in blue.
Thank you, darling. Thank you. It's not a color that I wear often, but I do tend to gravitate towards certain shades. And when I do, you know, I like to snatch them and keep them. There are very few pieces I have in blue, but I'm working my collection because this year the missing element is metal, and water enhances the metal. So this year for feng shui, wearing blues was definitely enhancing. So I went out and I was like, all right, where are all my blues?
Oh my gosh, and the shirt you're wearing is like metal mixed with blue. It's like, it's perfect. It's everything you just said. You're an amazing manifester. I know you manifested that top. Where'd you
Thank
find
you,
it?
my witch. I sure did. I really did.
Tell me about it. Tell me where you found it.
Goodwill.
It's
I,
freaking beautiful. It's
I'm
like
gonna go
it's
back to
meant for you.
Goodwill. I paid only about $7 for it, and I knew it was mine. The color was beautiful when I pulled it out and I saw the embellishment on it. I was like, okay, you're mine. I'm
Oh
taking
my
you home.
gosh. And I love your boobies in that shirt.
Thank you, babe. Thank
I
you.
mean, they look so beautiful. Look at their perfect, divine, feminine, luscious boobies.
It is girls' night
Beautiful.
out. Also, I just started my moon today on my way over here, so they're
Oh,
extra plump.
extra plump. Yes, get those plump boobies out for our chakra show. That's awesome. I love
Thank you,
your boobies.
darling. Thank you, babe.
Okay, so, and the element is sound, and the sound is G. It's EHM. Hem.
Yes.
Is it or
It
ha?
sounds like ham with an, and you pronounce the A as an ah. It starts very nasally, and then you should start to feel it in your throat, and your lips should start tingling once you start getting the right tone to it.
Okay, can we do it again, please?
Absolutely. Ready?
Okay, let's go. Yeah, I totally feel it when my lips are when it gets a little fuzzy in my lips. I start to feel it come right up into here and like clear space. That's really
And you're working tons of good stuff. It's I believe people don't really understand what we're doing when we're humming and when we're chanting mantras, and what we're really doing is we're basically changing, our molecules in our body, and they start to react to the frequency that these sounds make. So I mean, it sounds a little crazy, but do it in your car, do it when you're alone or in your shower if you're really embarrassed.
seriously. Yeah.
If for anybody else is with you, that's the best time to do it. And there will be a time where you're not embarrassed. And there's sometimes where I'm really stressed out at work, and all of a sudden I just start humming. And just humming, it just like grounds me back. I'm like, okay, what was I doing? Focus. And I'm just really like speaking my truth and doing things in an aligned way. But everybody else thinks I'm a little weird at work, and I think that's okay, because when shit hits the fan, people come to me like, hey, what's good for this? What's good for that? And it lets me know that people think I'm weird, but also, I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah, you're the little weird ally that they know they're gonna need someday, so they don't bully you because they know they're like, she's a crazy now, but we're gonna need her.
They just let me be, and they let me hum and type away at my little corner.
I would love to hear your humming. I wanna work with you every day. That's so great. When I feel like I need to clear my energy and my head's like, then I'll like whistle, but my whistle is really high pitched. It's like, and my husband's like, oh, dude, no, no. Like, it's just the high pitch of the whistle. When you were with somebody 24/7, they're like, no, can everybody just keep it down? So
is that what quarantine's doing to y'all?
Some days. So I literally like made our bedroom like my sanctuary, and I come like lock myself in the bedroom while he watches violent movies, and there's like gunshots going on downstairs in my house. I'm just up here with my witches doing my peace rituals and shit, motherfucker. Trying to balance this shit out. So yeah, we got all kinds of polarities. What was that?
I said you are the yin to his yang.
Oh, it's perfect. I mean, I'm Scorpio, he's a Taurus. You're a Taurus, I'm a Scorpio. We're just fucking perfect for each other.
It works out just fine.
Exactly. We might get a little irritated, as you just saw, but it's all good.
Yes. Also, whistling is a great exercise for exercising a good exercise for your throat chakra, as I would say. A lot of people can't whistle, so if you can't whistle, try humming. My grandmother was great whistling. That's how we woke up in the mornings. You hear the pots and pans rumbling, and then you'd hear my grandma whistling. And she was great at it, so I didn't mind the pots and pans because she was a great whistler. She was pretty good at it.
Oh, that's so cute. I feel like she tried to cover up the discomfort of the pans so that you guys could hear her like, I'm doing this with love. I know it sounds terrible, but you'll be happy when you have food in the morning.
Exactly. Yeah. And we were extremely grateful to wake up to an amazing breakfast that, that not all people are very, very grateful. We're very, very, let's say very lucky to have. So yes, I was very lucky.
That's so beautiful.
Great reminder.
I'm going to go on a little bit on the basics for
Please.
everyone here. So we also have the crystals that are the related to helping to balance the energy flow of your chakras. I have this here, lapis. Yeah, lapis, right?
Yes,
But
it's
it
lapis.
actually has some pyrite in it.
Put it
It's
up
like
closer. There's pyrite. That's lapis. I can see that for sure.
oh my god, it's like reminds me of like the planet Earth.
I love it. It's so gorgeous.
Sending so much love to the planet Earth. And so agonite, I'm sure you're gonna go over the crystals, right? You probably know them offhand, don't you?
I know them by hand. I know them off. Like blue kyanite. I know blue kyanite is good. I know turquoise is good. Apatite, sodalite, blue beryl, which would be aquamarines or calcites. Those are also really good. But I'm sure the list is great. Let's hear it from the list. I don't know if there's any new ones in there.
Let's see. I'm sure a lot of times the blue lace agate. I think you said
Lace
that, right?
agate. Blue agate, yes.
There's the solidite or solidite. You said my lapis here.
Yes.
Turquoise. Yeah, I think you got them all. It's like if this was a test, you got an A+.
Thanks, Mom.
Oh my gosh. Hey, I got to be good at something because all that shit I studied in school was like, what is going on? Why are we doing this?
This is my calling. If this shit can stick to my head, this is what I'm meant to be doing.
Exactly. I agree. I totally agree. That's how I feel. So the oils they recommend here are birch, which you can't really get because there's not really a sustainable source and a way to get birch. If you're buying birch from anywhere, it's not really birch, they're just trying to pull it off as birch, or they are taking from land because it's a plant or a tree that is going extinct, and so you should not be able to buy birch right now. So
you should not be purchasing birch right now.
Yes, exactly. So there are many other oils you can use for your throat chakra. The ones that they recommend in this chart are lavender and oregano, but I happen to know that there are many more. Spearmint is one of the ones I love. Do you have spearmint?
I don't have spearmint, but my lovely roommate Molly does have spearmint.
She does. I remember she bought that one little starter kit that was so perfect because she got like all those interesting ones that you didn't already have. So like you have a roommate that has like a secret stash of the good stuff. I love spearmint because you can take it. It's the oil of confident speech.
Ooh, I love that.
Yes, and perfect for the throat chakra. And you can tip it upside down like this, only with the doTERRA oils because it has the supplement facts on the side, which means that you can ingest them. And then you take that drop and you put it to the roof of your mouth. It reminds me of a boy I used to make out with in 8th grade because it has that spearmint gum he used to chew.
Reminds me of high school.
Crazy. You had a spearmint chewing boyfriend in high school?
Oh, this is what everyone chewed, that blue spearmint.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I like that choice to put it on my throat.
So good. So good.
So it helps to actually also fire the left and the right brain so that they're more in sync.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it's great because when your left and your right brain are firing together, you're more articulate with your words, you're more confident in your speech.
That's right.
So,
yes, and words and the words we say do matter. They resonate powerfully within our bodies and within everybody else's bodies. So we have to be very, very careful, not just what we speak, but what we think. Our thoughts are just as powerful. They're silent words, but they are very, very powerful. So if anybody out there ever has a negative thought about themselves, always be sure to replace it with a positive one.
I love that. That's great. Absolutely. Oh, yeah, for sure. A lot of times I'll catch myself when I'm saying something mean about myself, and then I'll be like, wait, don't talk about my friend like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
One thing I've been learning in quarantine is like I'm going to be with myself forever. And it's really important that I love myself. Like, I really want to love my company and be like, oh my God, you're hilarious.
That's right. You want to be able to make yourself laugh, and you want to be able to get yourself out of, a deep moment, and you've got to be able to turn it around as well whenever you have a negative, something negative to say about yourself, replace it with a positive thought, and it's great throat chakra exercise. Great throat chakra exercise.
I love how every single time you can just circle jerk it right back around. It makes me so happy. Yeah, I said circle jerk. This is after hours.
I love it. It's what we do.
So many things happening right now that are so.
Yes.
I'm going to go and talk about the balancing part real quick.
Please, please, please.
So, clearing and balancing your chakras. Chakras can be imbalanced by becoming blocked, underactive, or overly intense, overactive. When this happens, our being as a whole is imbalanced, often leading to illness and or emotional blocks and creating an unhealthy environment. The following charts can help you determine the well-being and balance of your chakras. So, the 5th chakra, the throat chakra here, is saying that when it's underactive, you'll feel suppressed feelings, fear of expression, fear of offending. I don't want to offend you. Shyness, weak voice, or poor rhythm. And then the crystal to help with if it's underactive would be the azurite.
Azurite, yeah.
Okay. And then blue topaz, which sounds awesome.
Yes, I love blue topaz.
And then the oil that you would use for that would be lavender. Ooh. And if it is overactive, you're going to feel excessive talking. Okay, whatever oil this is, I'm going to have to grab it right now. But you feel excessive talking, stuttering, inability to listen, gossiping, loud or demanding voice, tendency to interrupt. Okay, whatever this oil is, they're saying to use oregano, which can singe my nose hairs. Oregano, you guys remember, is another one that you need to dilute.
Yes.
Oh, guys, it's really good right now. I'm just going to take it in for a minute here. Do you have oregano right now?
I do, yes. It's oregano. It's very strong, but I really love it.
I'm really feeling it right now.
It's very earthy.
I feel like it's like a wine tasting, but an oil smelling. It's like
ooh, oil tasting.
It's like so good.
Sound.
Oh. So this one I'm not going to put in the palm of my hand, rub together, and make a Metallica mustache. I'm just going to smell it from the bottle.
No. Even if you get too close to it, it's a little strong.
Which one?
The oregano.
I wonder if we put oregano and lavender together, because lavender is the oil of communication. So lavender is really good because they can be underactive and overactive at the same time, our chakras. And so, yeah, we definitely...
Smells like the witch's garden.
Whoa. I mean, you know what it's telling me? Just pipe it down a little bit. It's okay. Just pipe it down a little bit.
Easy does it.
Easy does it. Slow.
Easy does it.
That's the lavender, brings in all the calming effects.
Yes.
It's these two together. So if we have a balanced chakra, if it is balanced, you'll be a good listener, communicate easily and clearly, lives creatively, speaks with confidence, sings well. Wow, that's kind of high maintenance. Sings well, good sense of timing and rhythm, expresses self freely, comfortable with body language. Wow.
Whoa,
I mean,
I love that.
that's a lot of good stuff. And how it might manifest physically in a physical body is you may have problems with your nasal area, your teeth or gums,
Mm.
irritated sinuses. So, anybody, just be aware that if you're somebody that has allergies or you have gum disease, or you have problems with your teeth or TMJ, or throat, ears, voice, neck, any kind of ailments like that, or with the esophagus or the tonsils, really check in with yourself if you're speaking your truth, if you're living your truth, if you're living in your creativity, if you're honoring yourself. Um, and when you're doing the work at healing any of these ailments, we want to bring in all the emotional sides that might be affecting us that we might be holding back. And the voice is a perfect way to express it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree with you. We have to be very careful of our thoughts, and it's like I said, it's how we filter. So if you are going to speak, you might want to think just for a few seconds, maybe not too long, because then that's a sign of an underactive chakra. Not being able to truly say what you think, and you think about it too much, and maybe you struggle to say it and get it out. Versus an overactive chakra where you're saying it too much, but you really want to think, what am I saying? How does it benefit me? How does it benefit all of the people that are going to come in contact with these words? And how does it benefit the thing or the person that I will be speaking of? And it takes a few seconds just to kind of go over it. And if any of those come with a negative answer, then maybe you shouldn't say it at all.
I love that you're saying this. I fucking love it so much. So today, or yes, last night, right? I was doing this some ritual work. I sent it to you guys. It's
Yes.
biohack manifestation with Juan Pablo. Biohack manifestation. It's so amazing, but I'm doing all this really deep shadow work, which is coming up. I love to dance with my shadow, by the way. I
I do
recommend it.
too.
Oh, I love it. It's so fun. But I've been doing all this deep work and a lot of stuff comes up, but a lot of like unhealed relationships or conversations that are being held back that I'm not saying, or truths that I see, but I'm not expressing them to people because I'm afraid how they might take it. And they might not take it in a loving place just because they're filtering it through their experience of their own pain. So I have to, like, my intuition will have me like, I'll I'll think about people, and then I'll think about all these like intuitive hits I'll get for them, but I'm too afraid to just give it to them because how is it going to be received? So I will just write it in my notes, and I'll write their name down, and I just sit with it, and inevitably, like in days, organically they might reach out to me, or like yesterday, it was in 5 minutes, a person that I was writing a letter to in my notes text me, and it was such a trip. At the same time, it was like, I'm healing this whether I deliver this message in words or not. Like, it's being healed
Absolutely.
without
Your
actually having
your
to say it.
your thoughts are just as powerful and as magnetic as our words. So maybe you weren't saying it out loud, but with your mind, you were definitely working this out, and you were definitely aligning yourself with these people that you were trying to manifest with. It's very powerful. That's the witch talking right there.
Yeah, it's what it feels. It feels like super witchy. And I just want to let everybody out there know, in the modern witch movement, I know I've been a witch in a past life for sure. And it was like I totally forgot. I wasn't, it was like I totally forgot. And then I met you witches, Raquel, Molly, you, the three of you, the little pyramid, your little triangle. And and I met you girls, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm home. This is home. Like,
I remember.
it feels, yes, I remember. And it's like, it's all about the land, it's all about the earth. And little by little, I've just attracted this wonderful community of people that have reverence for the land and the earth and all of the elements, and just mindfully, with intention, with all of the intention in the world, going out in the world. And I just appreciate it so much, and I appreciate helping me to be more intentional with the way that I live my life.
Wow. Thank you, babe. Thank you. I appreciate you just as much, if not maybe even more. And I know that we appreciate our lovely Molly, who's always coming through with all of the details and whatnot, and all of the beautiful people that are out there who are taking the time to listen to us. We really appreciate you guys, everyone. Whenever, wherever you hear all of these messages, they're definitely meant for every single one of you.
Yeah, there's no mistaken where you end up. That's the thing, is you can't unsee or unhear things. And it's just, for some reason, I'm calling out that I think we need to be really mindful of how deep into rabbit holes we're going.
Oh, yes.
I know there's so many conspiracies and things out there, and I think there is a grain of truth to all of those things that are going on in the world and in the frequency, but we really can't get caught up in the details and the minutia of it, because this is my own feeling, and I know that you shared this very closely, is that we're ascending. Like, we have to, there needs to be a balance of people that are also keeping a frequency open for the possibilities, the unlimited possibilities. If we go down rabbit holes of where the darkness came from and how it started, then we can get lost, and the darkness can swallow us up, because that's where we're putting our attention on. So what we put our attention on grows. And so even be careful about the things that you're posting and sharing and things like that. Be mindful before you just shoot them out there, because literally I can fall on a post and I can be high vibing it, so I'm like in the frequency that I want everybody to like experience, and one post can literally send me down into a spiral, and it's triggering me for a reason. I know it's coming up for me to heal it, but I also need to be mindful and pull myself out fast. So it's okay, we want everybody to feel their emotions and their feelings, but we also want to get grounded back down and be more in solution, rather than getting caught up and stuck in all the details of what went wrong and how it went. It's like, okay, now we know moving forward, and how can we help ourselves to be the warriors on the ascension plane.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we read all these posts and we get aggravated, and then all of a sudden we just want to get out there and have a conversation about what's going on in the world with the first person we see, and we just want to vent out. And like, well, I feel this way, and did you hear that this and this is going to happen, and so saying this is going to happen, and they're going to close this and they're going to close that. But we really, it's we really want to be mindful of how much of it we want to do. It's good to put it out. It's good to vent. Everything with balance, and before you go out there and you want to express it all out, go back to step 4, and tap into your heart, your 4th chakra, and you'll find the answers there. This is where you'll find the answers to be able to speak, your truth with true authenticity. And then maybe you'll think about, twice about, saying nasty things about whoever you want to speak about, and whoever's making the situation for humans worse or not. But even those that we dislike, we should be very, very careful of speaking negative of them. The universe, like I said, is a mirror, and everything reflects back onto us. So we have to be very, very, very careful.
Yeah, the universe is a mirror. Smoke on that. The universe is a mirror. Yeah, seriously, we have to be so careful about the energy that we're putting out there. But it's not to do it alone either, because like a lot comes up, and we don't want to feel like shame for any and all emotions that are coming up, and it's
we don't. This is why we have the tools. This is why we have the essential oils. This is why we have the mudras, the mantras. This is why we have these tools. You take a deep breath, you hold it for 7 minutes, you let it out. Just small little things that'll help you along the way, because we're not perfect. We're gonna come in contact with all these things that are gonna want to, we're gonna want to express it, and a lot of it is not gonna have, a positive connotation to it. So. Be wary of it, and like I said, just knowing how much of it you're going to put out there for other people to hear, for it to come back to you as well. So breath is so important, and oils are so important to help us and remind us to breathe, and it helps us remember who we are and tap in, and we are able to speak more clearly, more articulate, maybe, in a calmer manner, I would say. I mean, Buddhas and wise people speak so beautifully. That's just because they're very in alignment, and they think about what they're going to say for 2, 3 seconds before they actually, let it out. And most of it is really beautiful words and positive affirmations and positive things to say out there. But sometimes we don't have those tools, and like I said, sometimes we forget to use those
Yeah.
tools. So
It's really one of the things that I just did in the biohacking manifestation is that we wrote down first day we did like all of the if all of our dreams came true, what would it look like? Basically, we journal, 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 and then we do this activation when we're like, oh, like we're doing like, oh, like all this crazy breath work stuff. Like it's amazing to do this work. It's like this man knows what the fuck he's doing when he's guiding you with his activations, because you feel so high and so hopeful and so incredible. And then the next day, we wrote out all of the things that are stopping us from accomplishing those dreams, because we really know a lot of the answers. And then we burn that list. So I think we can do the same thing with all of our negative thoughts, which is journaling is such a wonderful way to help balance out all the chakras. To be just journaling, and you're tapping in when you're doing the ideomotor response. You get a lot when you're with handwriting, but if you're somebody who grew up in this day and age, even doing this is getting that ideomotor response going, which helps tap you into your subconscious mind and helps to connect you with your spirit. So
I agree. It gets us prepared for tapping into our third eye, which is our intuitive eye. So I feel like it's very important. It's very important to tap into it and start doing it now. Start singing, start humming, get your oils out, get your mudras, get your mantras, get the tools. Also, comedy is great therapy.
Oh, yes.
So, I don't know if anybody out there knows any comedians, or I mean, for me at least, whenever I'm feeling some form of throat chakra imbalance, I definitely put on a good comedy show, make me laugh out loud. And that's great medicine. If anybody out there has trouble laughing out loud or even singing when they're alone in the bathroom by themselves, if you have trouble singing out loud to yourself, you need to go ahead and get started on your throat chakra. A little humming is good enough, and bring out some oils. It's always a great way to tap into that energy and allow you to unconsciously open up to healing yourself. It's really important.
Yeah.
Comedy's great. I love laughing. I love a good laugh. It helps us breathe. It actually kind of forces us to breathe in and out properly if we're laughing, if we're having a good laugh.
Well, the laugh, we also didn't we worked on the laugh when we worked on the solar plexus, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Mm-hmm.
And we do have a comedian coming on our show tonight. And
we have a comedian in the house.
And I know we still have a little bit more talking to do before we bring her on, but I do think that we should do a laughing exercise with Sarafina. I think we should try it. I think whatever we end up talking about, I think we should maybe towards the end, we'll do like a laugh out.
I mean, once we bring Sarafina on, there's for sure going to be some laughs.
That's for sure. But no pressure, Sarafina. It's like wherever you're at today, we want to meet you wherever you are today. But I know that a lot of times the way that we'll like to deliver a message is like, even when we're just processing some really negative things, we process them in a funny way and helps us laugh it out.
Exactly. That's why I think comedy is great therapy for your throat chakra. Sometimes you want to say the shitty things that are really happening, and the best way to do it is through sense of humor. Through humor, through comedy, because sometimes situations are fucking shitty, but what better way than to have a fucking comedian get up there and be like, all right, life is shitty. This is a shitty ass situation, but let me make you laugh while we talk about it. So I
Right,
think
exactly, because all these things that we're all experiencing, one, anxiety can come up like really strong and powerful, I think. And it's, I think, so important to like check into that anxiety. We'll start getting that shallow breath.
yes.
And one of my other most favorite oils, what did I do with it? How could it be gone? I thought I put it here. It was the adaptive. I want it so bad right now.
Oh.
Maybe it's not meant to be. I'm gonna trust and go with peace. I'm gonna do some peace.
Peace. In the Middle East.
But yeah, we want to stop that anxiety before it like gets away from us.
Yeah.
And the breath is so important.
And laughing is a super awesome way to do it. I don't think that comedians know the type of healing work that they're doing when they get on stage. I'm not, maybe some of them are aware, but I mean, they really are healers. I've been healed by comedians many, many times.
Do you have a favorite?
Molly and Sarafina, yes.
Yeah, representing.
Those are my favorite comedians as of now, but there's tons of really beautiful comedians that we've met here at the Dragon's Den. Before quarantine, we were having Thalia comedy nights that were being hosted by Molly and Sarafina themselves. So it was just once a month, I believe, and it was the best fucking medicine.
It was so fun. I went to one.
It was great medicine. I mean, people get up there and talk about their shitty situations, and what a better medicine. What a better medicine for both them and us. They're getting it out, and we're laughing it off.
Yes. Oh, I love it. I have a hard time sometimes laughing out loud. It's interesting. It's interesting.
Throat chakra and balance. That happens.
Yeah. I'm gonna smell some more oregano.
Oh, I'm gonna get some more of that spearmint up in here.
Yeah. How are you feeling? Have you had any personal experiences lately with your throat chakra that you want to share?
I have, mainly with my mother. I know I keep bringing her up just because I'm spending so much time with her, and I get to, just literally are forced to talk to each other. So I just tapping into my throat chakra because sometimes I just want to say the things when I really should just be kind of tapping into my heart for 2 seconds and going, what's the best way to say this with more compassion? What's going to be the benefit of me saying this? And if there's some form of benefit, then then my answer would be like, okay, what is the best way I can articulate this message or this thing that I'm trying to express? Because sometimes we do tend to get impatient, and with people that we know we can get away with, we tend to just be a little meanie sometimes, and my mom is such a beautiful, sweet, lovely woman, and I snap at her sometimes, and she's so kind and so gentle, and she won't say anything to me. She'll just say, okay. And that's usually her answer. But lately, I've been very, very thoughtful about, like, okay, maybe I'm not feeling well, whatever the reasons may be. Those are just all excuses that I'm creating. I'm just beginning to be more aware of my speech, how I say things, why I'm saying things, and how I want to articulate them to her to get to best get my message across. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think about it in my head, and then it comes out differently. But sometimes I don't think about it long enough, and a lot of the times I'm trying to say it articulately in Spanish so that she can, so the message gets conveyed properly. So I'm working on my throat chakra a lot in both English and Spanish. I'm working on speaking from the heart and being extra gentle with the words that I say, and expressing, and I'm trying to replace I want blank with I need blank. So, a lot of the times I say, hey mom, listen, I need so and so and so and so and so and so. And it comes so much more differently than if I say I want this or I want that. It has made a difference for sure.
Wow. And it's just one word, and what a difference one word can make, which is so incredible to actually pause before speaking a lot of times, especially when you're delivering a message to someone. I'm sure it got a little bit wonky there because we also have Mercury in retrograde, which is when Mercury goes in retrograde, we have trouble with all kinds of communication. So I'm sure you guys really went through it there the last week or so.
We did, and right before my moon, I tend to get very, very.
Oh yeah.
I just my level of tolerance is lower, so like I said, I'm just doing the work. I have the tools, I have my oils, I have my mantras, and I'm tapping into to the energy fields that I know need the work. So throws me out of alignment, and my work is just to throw myself back into alignment and generate from there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think also, and I know it wasn't in this, but I know you also know a lot of times the body areas that are affected. I would think that the thyroid, because that's in the throat. Yeah,
absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes.
Hyper and hypothyroid. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Do you have any thyroid issues?
I don't have any thyroid issues, but when I was younger, I had like my tonsils were always swollen for no apparent reason. Like any slight change of weather, huge inflamed tonsils, and it's not a problem that I have anymore. Interestingly enough, I don't have that issue anymore. It just went away out of nowhere. So yeah, but I've heard that also any respiratory issues like asthma or any of that, hearing issues is also to do with your throat chakra. And I don't know if you know, or many of you know, but I have hearing issues, hearing problems. Since I was born with microtia, so I definitely can say I have to work twice as hard to speak my truth or to balance that throat chakra. Definitely.
Yeah. It is. It's definitely one I for sure. I do have hypothyroidism, just very mild case, but it's one for sure that I definitely came into this lifetime suppressing a lot of. I mean, I have a lot to say. Let's be honest. So I have done a lot of journaling, and it's like I don't need anybody to hear everything I have to say, but I do. But I do need to speak more of my truth, and I do think that I'm a number 9 in numerology, and I think one of the things I'm supposed to be doing, a part of my purpose, is to teach. And so, sometimes I can let myself teaching get in the way of those other things that we were talking about wanting it to come out the right way or wanting it to be perfect or anything like that. So I don't want to deter anybody, like we're talking about pausing and not saying anything, but if you notice that sometimes you haven't said anything before in the past, maybe it's actually you need to start speaking up.
Exactly. And vice versa. Like sometimes it's time to just shut the fuck up and listen a little bit. And what better way to be able to speak in the future about true authenticity and to be able to listen better. There is a reason why we have 2 ears and 1 mouth.
Yes, exactly.
In my case, I have one of each, so.
Oh dang! You're like I'm supposed to balance it out. I'm supposed to do the same amount of listening.
As much as I talk.
Exactly.
That's what I'd like to think, right?
Exactly. Hey, we all evolved the way that we were meant to be, so I think so. Should we see if Sarafina wants to come join us?
Let's see. I think she might be ready. I think she's ready to bring in her magic and show us what a balanced throat chakra looks like up on the heel.
Okay, let's see. Well, let's just take her temperature. I don't even know how her throat chakra is going to be.
I think she's just I think we're ready.
What? Oh yeah.
Oil.
I love it.
What are you smelling? Some frankincense.
Oh yes, get some truth. I'm gonna do it too. Anytime somebody talks about frankincense, I get mine out too.
Yeah, frankincense time.
How are you, Tina?
How are you?
Good. It's good to see you, beautiful ladies.
Hey, welcome.
Thank you.
Excuse
me.
Good
to see you, beautiful lady.
So we're talking about the throat chakra today, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Nice.
Got anything to say about that?
Oh my God. Yes, I do.
I feel like we should introduce you, Sarafina, to our community, to the community, your community. I'm not exactly sure how you would love to be introduced, but for sure, to me, you're hilarious, heartwarming, thoughtful, and just very, just so loving. You're such a loving person.
Aw, thank you.
And equally hysterical, so that's exciting. And I met you through Witch Camp, and our tents were right by each other. I mean, it's so much fun just staying up all night chit-chatting and bullshitting, and it was wonderful.
Yeah, I loved it. It was great. I miss it. I guess you could introduce me as a comedian, as a healer, as a modern witch,
a beer witch,
a beer witch, for sure, a comedy witch, and a good old common oil sniffing witch.
I love it. Love all of that.
I got the peppermint.
I
got some lavender and some frankincense.
Wow, yes.
I'm out of lang-a-lang. I'm waiting for a shipment of lang-a-lang that my friend got for me in San Francisco. And those are my go-tos.
I love me some lang-a-lang.
Oh, by the way, I think what was the other name for the chakra? The Vishuddha?
Vishuddhi?
I think that means pure and purification.
Purification filter. See, I told you it might be wrong.
Yeah, definitely.
I love
purification system. Yup. Sounds like a filter. Doesn't have any carbon, but
I actually have a really overactive throat chakra, and it takes a lot of practice.
Not all the time.
No way. Well, it's been a practice to use my filters.
Yes. I have the same issue, and I just want to repeat to the people who are listening which one the over chakra is. It's excessive talking, check for me. Stuttering, not really. Inability to listen, gossiping, I really try not to do that. Loud or domineering voice, tendency to interrupt. I have all of those. I'm gonna smell my oregano right now. Just thinking.
Sure.
We can all have some of those tendencies every now and then. Sometimes I wake up in the mornings and I want to do is interrupt people, and for some reason I just catch myself doing it. Fuck, I'm sorry, I just interrupted. Sometimes I wake up and all I can do is stutter my way through every conversation.
No, fair enough.
Yeah.
I've been practicing listening. That's the thing, is am I listening or am I waiting for my turn to speak?
Haha, I love that.
And I used to be waiting for my turn to speak because I always want to speak. Practice listening, filter that throat chakra. It gets out of control really quick for me. I'm a bit of a wild person, and sometimes once the wheels start turning, the perpetual motion just blows out of control,
You also have a lot to say, so I feel you on that one.
Absolutely.
It's not just BS coming out of your mouth.
Exactly.
No. I mean, that's the thing, is your true authentic self is the one that gets carried away, because you don't even think about it. When you're really in your groove, and when all your energy is flowing in just the right direction, that's when you get carried. That's when I get carried away the most. So it really is true to myself, but I also have to learn how to bring it down to people's level, because my level is all the hell up here, and their level is significantly lower.
True, very, very true. But we have much to learn. I've known you for so many years, Sarafina, and I can say I definitely have learned a lot from you and from your ability to speak your own truth. And I can say I've taken a lot from being your friend and from knowing you. It has been quite a lovely experience.
Oh, likewise.
Yeah.
Hey, you girls are great. You guys have any questions for me and my loud ass throat chakra?
I do. Question for me, because you have your ability to speak is it's on point, and I know that you're a comedian, and sometimes you have to get on stage. Most often than not, you do have to get on stage. And is there a time where you get on stage and your throat chakra is just not allowing you to deliver the way you want to deliver? And if so, how do you balance that? Is there a technique that you have before you get on stage? Because I mean, you don't always feel like talking. I mean, there must be some times where you just went through some traumatic experience, or just something, or just a lot on your mind, and you just don't feel like exercising your throat chakra, but you have to do it because it's what you do. So for me, how do you find tools to get up there and do what sometimes you don't feel like doing, and how does it affect you?
Oh, that's a good question. I think every comedian's a little bit different. Every one of us fall into a certain category. I'm one of those people that on the day of a show, I'm just nervous, and there's butterflies in my stomach nonstop, and there's a little bit of a panic and nervousness in the back of my head that's like, I can't do this. But that's like going on a roller coaster ride or going skydiving. Like once you're almost at the top of that roller coaster ride, you're like, oh my god, I shouldn't have done this. It's too late to turn back. But then you get over that hill, and all of a sudden you're like, ah, and the thrill is worthwhile. I say just push through it. And once I get on stage, I roll out my first joke pretty tense. And once I break the ice and the crowd laughs, then that's when everything flows beautifully. I love it. That's when my muse comes to me, and that's when I'm more of a I feel like a little more of a paintbrush than the artist, because it's just that great energy that flows through me, and that's what I live for. I live for that energy. It's so good. It's terrifying right before, but once you get to it, it's so worth it. Little dragon, chase it.
I love that. I love that you bring up. I think a lot of people are like, I only want to do it if it feels good. I only want to do it if it feels good. And as soon as they get those butterflies and that maybe I shouldn't do it resistance, they just stop, and they would never get the full thrill. So I just think it's wonderful to show that part. And to
it's life, damn it, people, live.
Yeah,
whatever you love, whatever excites you, do it. And mine is all right here. Everything that excites me is in my throat chakra.
I love it. Yep. Yes, it is. You've got that well exercise throat chakra that not a lot of people else have. And even sometimes you get on stage and you don't even need a microphone, girl. You have a voice. I love it.
Thank you. I can belt. I can belt pretty easily. But like, there's a time to take breaks. Like, I think that it's such an extreme extroversion that after it's done, the next day or right before, I need that quiet break.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you need to rest your throat chakra. It's super important, whether it's through writing, through meditation. A silent retreat's a great way to go. Practicing, breathing. Learning to align with your other chakras and make sure that that your love is intact, that your patience is intact. It's a practice, though. Like, nobody's perfect. We all have a hard time getting there, but as long as we recognize what our strengths are, recognize what our weaknesses are, learn to make friends with our weaknesses and our demons, and just learn to love that part of you, because that is the true part of you. And sometimes I may be a little too loud, I may be a little bit too crazy, but oh my God, I love that so much,
I do too.
Not everybody can do it. But like,
not everyone has the ability.
You two girls are what I call wild women. There's like a whole group of women that I hang out with. A lot of the witches fall into that category. And we're just wild women. We just have to live. We have to jump off that cliff. And it's all worth it. It's every second of it's worthwhile. And that's absolutely what I live for.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Delphina.
so much good throat chakra wisdom. You're also an incredible singer. You're an incredible singer as well.
Yes.
And
this is something that I didn't know. I believe I've known you for so long, and first time I heard you sing was at Witch Camp 3 years ago, 2 years
oh my
ago.
God, it was amazing.
First time ever, and I didn't even. Okay, obviously, I can imagine that you have a great singing voice because you have a great voice, period. But I've never heard you sing once in almost 10 years that I've known you. That was the first time ever.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, I was totally blown away. I was totally blown away. I was like, I knew it. I knew she was good.
You don't want to be one of those girls that just breaks into song in the middle of a conversation. They're a little tacky. You know, unless somebody's like, "Will
I'm a classy singer."
Yeah, no.
Class. I have a balanced chakra. But I do it with purpose.
But I mean, I'm happy to sing for you. Singing is another great way to get everything out. Like,
yes.
That is the most throaty feeling I'll ever feel in my life. Yelling and singing.
I want to hear it. Give us something right now.
All right, let me think. All right. Oh, mama, 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 why you don't like my man? Whoa, oh, mama, 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 why can't you understand that loving you could be so easy? Loving you could be so easy, but mama don't like my man. No, she don't like my man. Sharon Jones. It's embarrassing.
Oh, that got him boyfriend.
You know what?
Mama don't like that boyfriend.
I'd rather act like an idiot than it is to sing. Like publicly, I can act like an idiot, like nothing. That's my thing. I do it. Well practiced at it. Singing like, I
love it. It's so good. Thank you so much. That was
wonderful. Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah,
I can't wait for this all over, and I can just squeeze you both. And Molly, squeeze my Molly.
Oh.
I want to squeeze everybody so bad.
Please.
And you're still working. You've been working this entire time, right?
Yeah, it's been crazy.
Yeah, definitely crazy. I know you've had some frustrations at the way that people are treating the service people, which I think it's definitely something that needs to be addressed. And it also goes into that privilege category, you know, of
sure.
You know,
it was really hard at first because people are very selfish and people just don't give another thought to the essential workers. So please, if anybody's listening, you know, like, please respect your essential workers. It's so important. But I mean, really practicing abundance every day. I mean, I joined a meditation group and it focused on abundance, and it really helps every day to remind yourself, like, thank you for this food, thank you for this roof over my head. A lot of people are doing a great job saving money right now because they can't go out and spend it. So, like, abundance, you know, like
wild orange is the
that's
oil of abundance. Whenever I start feeling any kind of scarcity, whatsoever, or lack mentality, or I just start to get in that space, I pull out my wild orange and just take it in, and I remind myself, like, I visualize an orange tree every time, and how much fruit is on an orange tree, and how there's enough and abundance for everyone, and I affirm that I'm abundant, and it's really helpful.
Yeah. Affirmations take a while to work, but keep doing them, and they work. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And speaking of orange trees, I know that we're like talking about the throat chakra here for those of you who are just in with us right now. Stone fruits, any type of stone fruit or any fruit that comes from a tree are great foods that will help you balance out your throat chakra for those of you who are interested. And this is something that Benita will probably be speaking about in Food for Chakras. And that'll be next
Yes.
Wednesday. You guys definitely don't want to miss it because, like I said, this is what filters what we eat, what we put into our bodies. It's going to be super fun, super interesting. I cannot wait to see what Vanita's going to come up with because she is an amazing goddess witch, and I'm just super stoked every time her show comes on because I learned so goddamn much. And just when you
Me
think
too.
she just comes in with a whole new level of like chakras. So you definitely don't want to miss it. I'm really stoked to see what she's gonna come up with. Really
Me
interested.
too. I wish I could just show up at her house and try that food. I'm sure if I did show up at her house, she'd have me like a little goodie bag. It's just she lives a little bit far from me, but I should do it because I just want it every time so bad.
I just want her to she cooks.
Her food is so good. It's delicious.
Oh, it's amazing.
So good.
Oh,
How's everybody feeling? Does anybody have any burning desires that they want to talk about today, now, this time, in this chakra time?
Ooh.
I mean, we can talk about yoga poses. We can talk about, shoulder rolls. Anything with like neck rolls and shoulder rolls. Any of that stuff is going to be great for your throat chakra. If you ever start to feel any tension on your shoulders or in this area here, definitely shoulder rolls and neck rolls as well. Those are pretty good. And doing them for
you should go really slow. You should
5
go really
to
slow
7
neck
minutes.
rolls.
So very, very, very slow for your neck rolls. Starting to the right first and then to your left.
Why to the right?
I'm not sure exactly why. In Kundalini Yoga, a lot of times we do start with our rights with some poses, and they do explain why, but I'm not sure exactly why. It wasn't explained to me when I was reading about this. But yeah, we do this exercise where we roll our shoulders all the way up to our ears, and then we breathe in, and we release, and we exhale.
Oh, that's good stuff. I like that.
And we do it again.
Those guys.
Tight. Release. I start to feel it. I start to feel it here too in the front, not just on my shoulders. Yeah.
I love yawning. Yawning really stretches it out.
Yawning is absolutely. Yawning is a great exercise. So if you can force yourself to yawn, that's great exercise. I slap myself out of feeling. Whenever I'm feeling down and my energy is really low, I yawn and I'm like, I don't know what the hell happens. Like plug in a little pair of batteries and I'm ready to go. And during the end of the day where I'm starting to wind down and my brain's just like, all right, I'm done. I'm doing this. No more typing. No more trays. I pretend like I'm going to yawn because I feel tired or exhausted, and then I really just kind of make myself yawn out loud. And maybe I'm throwing oxygen into my brain, and that's what's happening. With the breath, I'm actually probably throwing oxygen into my brain, and that's probably what's happening. I'm feeling more awake and more alert, and I'm able to finish the day with a little bit more energy. Again, the breath, important. But yawning is great, Sarafina. Yeah, great work.
Yeah. Pro tip.
Just do what you feel like. Go out and yell. Go out and do a cannon and just yell as loud as you can. Or I really like making the karaoke. I have like a whole like karaoke playlist on YouTube that I play in my car on the way home when I have a rough day.
You do.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it.
Put some punk rock karaoke on. You'll feel better.
I love driving and watching people, not anymore because I don't have a rear view mirror right now, but watching people singing in their car, like belching out, even if I can't hear them because the windows are up.
I've gotten caught doing it. I've noticed guys ahead of me looking in the rear view mirror just fucking dying because I'm all stop and loving.
I love it.
Oh my God.
It's the best. It's the best. I definitely know I have some throat chakra work to do because a lot of the times when I sing out loud, I feel a lot of emotion and I feel like I want to cry. It's very interesting, right? Mm-hmm. So I am not always able to sing out loud for a very long time. I am exercising, but sometimes I just like burst into tears when I'm driving. And it could be any
Wow.
song. It doesn't even have to be a sad song. If it's a beautiful song that I absolutely love, I sing it and I start to like have so much emotion that I'm just like,
Oh, wow.
I can't sing anymore. But and I know there's like some form of an imbalance as well. Definitely has to be an imbalance because I should be able to finish a song.
But it's also an amazing purge. I love how it's like inspiring you to be able to like purge those tears out and to like get to that root of an emotion. And I think that's, I mean, dude, if I could literally cry every time I sing, I'd be singing all the time, get all this shit out.
Right? You know? I feel like people with a strong throat chakra, like myself, I think feel like they grew up feeling largely unheard. So, you know, just like people that, you know, they hear things as children that they don't want to hear, and those kids tend to get like earaches and whatnot. Like same thing. Like I grew up with this crazy indignant middle child syndrome, not feeling invisible, you know, and so I, you know, that plus like a lot of ear infections equaled me just getting louder and louder and louder.
Wow.
But then when I realized how much I can boom my voice, when I realized how much energy I can really pull into a room, that's when I made friends with that. Instead, because, you know, people told me to be quiet a lot when I was a kid. I was very loud because of it. But I just wanted to be heard so bad. And now I literally crawl onto a stage and grab a microphone to make sure I'm listening.
I love it. Your voice is a powerful magnet. Powerful magnet.
Crazy. It's crazy. It's a strength. It's absolutely a strength. You just got to learn how to harness it, and then it's more of a power than it is a flaw. A million times.
Fuck yeah.
That's so true. Fuck yeah. I wish that when you were little and I knew your mom and I could tell her to put tea tree around your ears and lavender right down your throat. And I was just thinking about that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it is tea tree and lavender that you use for those areas. And I imagine if you're like, you don't want to hear something, the tea tree also helps with energetic boundaries. And then the lavender is the oil of communication. So it's really helping. It helps all of those fluids actually drain, but it's also working on you emotionally because it's working on the emotional thing. So it's so cool to be able to address those things in ourselves. So like even when I notice I'm starting to get like congested in these areas, I'll put the Melaleuca on, and you can just feel it just start to like crackle open to be able to hear more. And it's so cool to be able to use the tools, all the tools.
I love it. Yeah, I was actually exercising some of the breathing techniques before a few days ago, and I kept choking on this one that I was doing, this breathing technique, and I just couldn't even get to the first 3 breaths. I kept choking, kept taking a break, kept going back to it, and I kept choking. And I said, okay, what's going on? Like, it was a challenging one. It was, I think it's called, I wrote it here, the dog breath exercise. And I was like,
which one?
Fucking dog, the dog breath. And I was like, I'm a fucking water dog. I got this. I was really upset with myself because I kept choking on it. Like, see, there's a certain drainage that kept coming, and I knew that it was working because there was a reaction. My body was reacting to it, and I breathe all the time. I just didn't know why exactly I was having this trouble. So I took my time with it. I hummed for a few minutes, and then I went back to the exercise. So I just kind of like warmed up my throat really nicely, but I went back to the exercise. And I gotta say, it was quite challenging for me. Very, very challenging exercise for me to do that dog breath. It's very similar to breath of fire, but slightly different. So the percentage.
Is that the one where they go?
Yes. That's the one. Like a dog, you do it for like 5 or 7 minutes. It's really crazy. It's really, really crazy how it works for you. But I had trouble with it. I had a lot of trouble with that one.
I'll do a lot of different breaths that will get me dry heaving, and I'll be like, and my kid will be in the other room like, are you okay, mommy? Yeah, I'm almost gonna purge. It's so interesting. I've also had some people tell me that the way that I describe some of the breath work that I've done and the experiences that come up for me, that it's similar to an ayahuasca experience. So that's fascinating.
Interesting. I love that.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't have to deal with that, all the other parts, like going to Peru. Bucket.
So do some dragons for breath of fire. And what did you say, Jen? What was your advice?
I don't know if I had any advice. I was just saying that it's more about the breath work, really. It's just I always say that the breath is the most important medicine because it's the first thing we do when we're born and the last thing we do before we die. So it's really important to like tune into it. And I've also heard it being a way to call in our spirit is through the breath, and it's also the way to like slow down our mind and get more grounded and centered in our body. So there's that.
Good old breath of life, huh?
Ah.
I don't know how I'm going to slow down my breathing in this environment. I'm just like,
Yeah, it's so like literally if anybody could learn just that one thing, I think from all these talks that we do would be to like slow that breath down and like breathe it into our chest because it's getting so shallow and it's just when our brain starts spinning, we stop breathing. Our breath gets so shallow in our bodies, and then that's just we start wreaking all kinds of havoc on our immune system, which is what we're trying to keep strong, and all of our other body systems. And it's so important that we're taking that deep breath in and oxygenating our blood, and grounding ourselves into these amazing bodies that we have, and trying not to like live something over and over again. You know, we get so consumed with the possibilities of the horrible thing that could happen that we're like living it 100 times over rather than like maybe the worst fucking scenario is gonna happen, but obsessing over it is just it's attracting it more because what you put your attention on grows, and it also is creating that feeling in our body. And like if we can notice that shallow feeling is happening and we can start doing a deep breath, and then we start just checking in with our bodies and ourselves and what's going on and getting grounded, and then working on that, because what we're fixated on a lot of times is it's the patterns. It's like searching for the pattern to continue that lower vibrational frequency. And if we can like notice it when it's happening early on and deepen our breath, the oils are really helpful with it, breathing in deeper. And then a lot of times we can grab an oil to counterbalance the emotion that is, you know, following that old pattern and that old groove in our subconscious mind. Yeah. So being able to just ground in our bodies and take in those deep breaths, it's like the most important, I think, message of all time is to just really breathe in.
I love it. Yeah, the breath is so important, and I love the fact that you mentioned the pattern, because your throat chakra is definitely a chakra you want to exercise if you have a tendency to have addictive patterns. So the breath is very important, and that's something that I've been trying to break. I have a habit of drinking too much alcoholic beverages, and it's something that I want to break. You know, a lot of people are okay with having a drink a day or 2 drinks a day, or want to drink during the weekend or whatever. It's something that it's a habit that I have. First, you make the habits, and then the habits make you. So I don't want to have that habit anymore. And so the breath is something that I've been working on, and it's been helping. Also, kombucha has been my friend, but that's another topic. And the breath work has definitely been my number one friend, you know, besides from the mudras and the powerful positive thoughts and affirmations, as well as the oils, the combination of everything. But I have this exercise that I've been doing where I'm pressing on the back of my molars with my mouth closed, and I basically touch the temples here. And I do it right before I go to sleep, and I press back of my molars. I press down, and you should be able to feel it there. So put a little pressure.
Oh, yeah.
And when you press, you're chanting Sat Nam with each press. So Sat is one press, and Nam is another one. And I do it for about 5-7 minutes before I go to bed. And that usually calms the craving that I have, or whatever thing that I feel I want or need in my life, which I obviously don't. But it's a good way for me to break habits. It's not the only habit I'm breaking with this little exercise. I'm breaking the habit of having too much alcohol, but I'm also breaking other habits. Really, really good exercise. I recommend it. Highly recommend it.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a good one.
What about oil? We've been sniffing all kinds of oil tonight. What was your favorite out of that bag of oils?
I love frankincense.
Love it.
It's always my go-to oil. It's the oil of truth, you said, right, Biondo?
Well, it's when in doubt, use frankincense. Frankincense is like the king of all the oils, and
Yeah.
I mean, essential oils have been around for thousands of years, and everybody knows about how baby Jesus got the frankincense and myrrh. The wise men brought frankincense, myrrh, and gold, and then in the Egyptian days, they used to bury people in the tombs with the frankincense and myrrh and the gold, and frankincense like represents the masculine side of things and the like the father energy. It's also the oil of truth, and it's amazing at inflammation in our bodies.
Yep.
And it's just so I'm so grateful for frankincense and ups the ante of all the other oils. So if you're going to use like frankincense didn't necessarily come up in this chart as an oil that you would use for your throat, but because it's the oil of truth, it's like you always want to be speaking your truth and living your truth and being your truth.
Yes.
And it helps to just like kind of tap in to that. But it's also really important that we're getting our essential oils from a pure source, and I represent doTERRA just because I know the integrity of the business and how they are wonderful stewards for the land and for the people who are giving us this beautiful oils. And it's definitely one of those companies. I think that all of us, as we're ascending, want to be in alignment with companies that are like for the greater good of all, and that it's not, that it's all very thoughtful, and it's not about cutting corners and doing things the cheap way. It's literally about testing every single oil to make sure that it's 100% pure therapeutic grade, and harvesting from the indigenous regions, from the people that have been taking care of the land for thousands of years. And it's just so important to me. Plus, they absorb into our bodies in 30 seconds, and it's really important that we're using pure essential oils. So that to me is so important, and I would get upset if I didn't actually represent the importance of using 100% pure therapeutic oils in all of the things that we do, all of our rituals and any kind of our healing practices. I can't stress that enough.
Speaking your
And
truth.
it's also important. Yeah, it's also important to have somebody that's like guiding you. So I'm a wellness advocate, and so like I can actually like help people like know what is an essential oil, the few different ways to use them, and point you into some like reputable sources. And then my team and I will do like continuing education for people. It's really like a lifestyle. It's learning a whole new way. So many of us, we were raised with traditional medicine, and the first thing you do if something happens is you go to the doctor. In my day, you go to the doctor and you get antibiotics, which was just fucking me up. And so nowadays it's nice to be able to have alternatives to things that come up, and but it's learning a whole new way, because I always wanted the quick fix, or actually I just got brought up in that. I don't know if I actually wanted it. Quick fix.
I love my oils.
Witch.
Frankincense and peppermint are my go-to oils whenever I'm doing a tarot reading. If I'm going to sit and I need that flow of speech, and I want to speak the truth of the source of the message, my frankincense and peppermint are my go-to oils, and they're great.
Love that. Sarah, you do readings as well, don't you?
I do, more for myself more than other people. Although if people ask me to do a reading on them, then I'll do one. I've been playing around with Santa Muerte cards lately. It's been great.
You want to draw us one right now?
What's that?
You want to draw us one right now?
Ooh, yeah. Hold on. Let me go get my cards.
And I apologize for just calling you Sarah. I love the whole name Sarafina.
Sarafina.
So it's super witchy. I love it so much.
Yes.
So good.
Here we are.
I love all the stretching. One of the ones I love for this throat chakra is shoulder stand. Love it.
Shoulder stand is great for your
so
throat
much.
chakra. Wow, so
my
good.
gosh.
So good.
I'm
A lot of
gonna
people
do
know
it
about
after
shoulder stand. Those are a great one too.
I love it. Glad we talked about it.
I got these great Santa Muerte cards.
Okay,
Ooh.
what does Santa Muerte mean?
Santa Muerte is
Muerte.
like
Oh, yes.
the Lady of Death that crosses you over to the other side. It's
That is a
kind of
beautiful
a spin-off of Catholicism that goes into more esoteric domain. Catholics don't like it. I love
That's
these
gorgeous.
cards because
I love it.
I freaking love it. I love her. These cards are great because if you turn them upside down and you put them in numerical order, they make a giant Ouija board. So you can ask it a question and you can close your eyes.
Oh.
Oh,
That's a really great, fun way to do it. And other than that, I think they mostly encourage you to do past, present, and future 3-card draw. But there's really some ridiculously amazing cards in here. Look at my favorite one. Oh, this one right here. This is this card is all about emotions.
Ooh.
See the emotions spilling down. And
Wow.
these cards are kind of they're kind of chakra-y too, because
That's a lot of chakra colors in there.
Mm-hmm.
hell yeah. Oh, here's a good one.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Oh,
Chakras.
damn.
Mystic knot there as well. It's gorgeous. That is one deck I don't have in my collection.
Oh,
Yet.
really?
Not yet.
I love it. It's addicting, and if you don't want to sit down for like a full reading, if you want to just do like a little quickie session, it's a great way to go.
Excellent.
I love a quickie
Not
session.
everybody has time for a whole life spread. Life is busy.
Yes, that's right. Attention. They say that we have the attention span of a goldfish nowadays, 9 seconds or 7 seconds, something like that. So nobody's watched to the end of the show, basically. Molly's working at fucking making 7-second snippets of this whole thing. We have content for 48 years.
Content is content.
Fuck yeah. I love it. Oh my goodness. Are you going to pull us one, or did you just show us your favorites? Either way, I'm happy. It's just...
Oh, yeah. Let me do some shuffling. Hold on.
Cool. Part of the throat chakra. A collective throat chakra reading here.
All right. I pulled up. Where is she? Masculine love.
Queen of Swords.
I always want to pull the Ace of Wands. Just I think probably because I want to get laid, you know.
Wands are fire.
My mind is always in a phallic direction.
Oh yeah.
Wands and cups, cups and wands.
Cups
and cups. Sometimes wands and wands. All right, I pulled number 7, which is the feminine. While masculine card presented in number 2 with a primordial active creative impulse that still has no form or direction. This card is contrary to it. A receptive and feminine basis, which like a womb or cocoon, envelops the primitive energy, disciplines, it stabilizes, and by giving it shape. This shape will consent its growth and evolution, but it will inevitably give it mortality. So take the necessary time to study and meditate before executing your project. Perhaps ask a feminine, maternal figure for advice. That totally goes along with throat chakra stuff, you know?
It's fucking perfect. Look at it.
Use
It's
a
perfect
filter. When in doubt, ask one of the 3 of us. We'll tell you what.
I love it. Love it. Thank you, Fina.
Oh, you're welcome. Happy to do it. I was gonna fake and pull the wand one.
You were gonna do big cool.
Did you just get that dick?
I know
Oh, Yeah, that's beautiful.
Oh, dang.
That's fire.
That's a fire rod.
I
Don't
love
come out with
wands.
me
I
with
love
that
that
right now.
masculine energy. I am.
Excuse me.
Fiery. Yes. Clearing that throat chakra.
Yeah, I went down the wrong pipe for a second.
No worries. I'm going to say the affirmation for the throat chakra.
Oh my God, yes.
I am speaking clearly and truthfully with grace and ease.
Ooh, I am speaking clearly and truthfully with grace and ease.
And ease.
I
And
love
we
that.
just did it 3 times, which is the perfect little witchy thing to do, one from each. So I think we should start wrapping it up. Sarafina, would you like to share any jokes with us before we clock out? No pressure, but if you have something that you want to share, we are just talking about wanting to laugh. No pressure.
Oh man, I don't think I prepared any jokes, but I can tell you just some good old classics if you want.
Yeah.
Give us a couple good classics.
All right. My comedy coach, her name's Jackie Monahan. She is freaking hilarious, and she caught me off guard one time with this joke. She said, I was having sex one time, and I farted, and oh my God, I was so embarrassed. But then everyone else farted and made me feel better. Roll that one. Of course, there's
my favorite is that it's everybody else.
With my coach, Jackie. She's freaking awesome like that. She's so gross.
That was great.
Just like me. And of course, there's my good old classic. What did one tampon say to the other?
Ooh.
Nothing. They were both stuck up cunts. A modern witch movement potion out. Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Get it.
Uh-oh, my filter is not working.
That was so good.
Oh, I love that filter. Love it.
It's the best and the worst.
Yes.
Need it.
So good to us.
Ah, ladies, well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for coming on.
Yes, thank you guys. Everyone, whoever's watching, thank you for joining us as well. Wally, as usual, thank you for being such a lovely witch and so patient and so smart and dealing with all the stuff that we don't want to deal with, as per usual. We love you.
Love you, Molly.
Yeah, we love you, Molly. You guys, I think I snorted too much frankincense.
There is no such thing.
Not possible. Not possible.
Thank you guys. I love you so much.
I love you too.
Have a beautiful night.
You too. Bye.
Peace be with you.